China to Cheek and over toward Diamond D Ranch, some neighbors want to know why ExxonMobil wants to inject carbon dioxide into the ground so close to their homes. Good evening, everyone. Experts say carbon capture could save jobs and protect the Southeast Texas economy for years to come.
Yeah, many people say there's nothing wrong with this technology. In fact, they like the idea of reducing emissions, but they question the location for this project. Tonight, 12 News investigates.
On Fridays, we get a food truck. We come to the park, come hang out, we come meet everybody.
When families in Diamond D Ranch west of Beaumont picture perfection,
We're like a family in this community. We all come together.
this is it.
We enjoy each other and we look out for each other.
Now that vigilance has turned into an environmental fight.
You have people who want to sell their homes now.
We met Constance Wallace at a neighborhood gathering where anxiety was in the air.
And you have people out here with over $100,000 of equity in their home. They're going to lose that.
We will be the first residential area that this is happening in, and I don't feel like we should be the test rabbits.
The panic these neighbors share involves ExxonMobil's proposed Rose Carbon Capture and Storage, or CCS project. Drilling has already started about 2 miles from their homes.
It has never been done in an area that is a residential area. They are in rural areas.
There's plenty of land in Texas to do this.
We were never asked about anything. This was thrown at us and forced on us.
So right now we're on the Rose CCS injection pad.
Brandon Maxwell works in public and government affairs for ExxonMobil.
So the idea is you capture the bad stuff out of the air, compress it into a liquefied form, and send the CO2 down into the ground.
You're actually capturing it before it gets into the air. So at the emission source, at the combustion source.
The CO2 ends up thousands of feet underground. It's stored under rock formations that are hundreds of feet thick.
We can inject carbon safely up to about 8,800 feet beneath the surface, so nearly 2 miles. And then the shallowest we would get is about half a mile beneath the surface.
The company calls CCS a safe, proven, and permanent solution to reduce CO2 emissions and says the land here is ideal for this. An 18-mile pipeline would run from the Port Arthur area to the injection sites. This drilling rig would be gone by the end of the year. ExxonMobil says it's already negotiated lease agreements with landowners.
In the state of Texas, we have to have the pore space rights to inject carbon in the subsurface, and those rights exist with the surface owners.
ExxonMobil has leased 13,000 acres here, enough land to proceed with the EPA permitting process. Full approval may take 2 years.
No one knew what was going on. This was a shock to everybody. We literally just found out about this about 4 days ago.
So let's get back to those neighbors' concerns. Turns out Diamond D is outside of the project area. That's why people there were not notified.
They are very well removed from our CCS project activity, so not near the injectors. They're at least 2 miles from our injector wells, 3 miles from our pipeline activity.
Maxwell is quick to say that doesn't mean their concerns don't matter.
We just need to have additional conversations. I think it's very healthy to have a robust conversation with community members.
ExxonMobil says the project will include tracking where the CO2 may move once it's underground.
That data isn't just held by ExxonMobil, it is then provided at regular intervals to the EPA for them to validate, to again also confirm that this field is developing and growing the way it's intended.
That we were not given that opportunity.
But based on what we heard at a recent community meeting in Cheek, people still have questions.
I am concerned about my home, about them putting CO2 into the ground and the effect that it may have on the neighborhood.
We need some answers to these things, and we don't need no chucking and jiving. We need some real, true input and truth.
Is this a done deal? I mean, is this happening?
So from our perspective, we're developing the field, we're developing the pipeline activity, but no injection activity with regards to CO2 can take place until we receive that permit from the EPA.
But ExxonMobil wants this to happen.
Yeah.
This is an important project.
Yeah, it is a very important project. It's one of the first of its kind in the Gulf Coast area.
And back at Diamond D,
Yeah, that one's there. 4 miles away from our children at an elementary school.
it's clear neighbors are not finished fighting.
Right now we have 143 people. We're trying to come together as a community, and we're getting petitions signed.
If they come in here and they start putting all these wells in, everything that we've invested and eventually we want to retire on is gone.
As you heard, it may take 2 years for the EPA to decide whether ExxonMobil will be able to move forward. Tomorrow night, ExxonMobil's representatives will meet with concerned community members. There's a meeting happening at 6 p.m. at St. Martin de Porres Catholic Church on Boyd Road. That's in Cheek. 12 News will keep you posted about any new developments in this CCS project.